In this lesson, let's talk a little bit about local attractions and the unexpected delights that you find there. We're gonna go to Luray Caverns, deep under the ground. We're gonna be in the total darkness. How do we make good pictures in a wonderful place that's lacking light completely? Then we go up above onto the surface. We find a wonderful garden maze, something that's totally unexpected, yet wonderful. And yet the light isn't quite what we need it to be. It's a little drizzly even. We can handle it, and we can make nice pictures in that type of weather and that type of light too. So let's go. I'm here at Luray Caverns in Virginia. This place has been open every day of the year since it was discovered in 1878. They've had tens of millions of visitors so far, for good reason. Let's go inside. Okay, so I am down underneath Luray Caverns now, 150 feet down, and it is amazing, and it is beautiful, and it is dark, really dark. Caves tend to be that way, don't they? So, tripod and a cable release. This is a perfect chance to use this. Cable release, why? Well, because if we're shooting at a very slow shutter speed, and I'm at about 1/8 of a second here, well, I need this, don't I? I need this because I'd be shaking the camera if I pressed the camera with my finger. I don't want any camera shake. It should be sharp as can be. These rocks aren't going anywhere. All right. So I have a couple of friends down here, Howard and Linda. They are in the spot. I want to get a picture of them. They're standing by. They're in a beautiful spot that I've already scouted. I've already seen this place. I spent about an hour walking around doing my homework. Where is the best looking spot here? Well, there's one spot along the trail where the man-made lighting down here really illuminates people well on the trail. So that's where I've put them. It's the best looking spot I could find. So I took my time. This is actually a fairly easy picture to get once you find the right spot. So we'll take a second here. You guys ready? Ready for your big moment? Okay, here we go. And I know that you guys have a couple iPhones, don't you? So pop those things up and we'll just see you guys taking a picture, all right? Good deal. I can zoom in a little bit. Wonderful. Very, very simple. I just used my head and I walked around the place and I saw that's the nice spot. They stand out perfectly against this little dark cave behind them. They really pop out. Wonderful. Wonderful. Perfect. That's great. It is really beautiful. So tripod and cable release for a dark spot, that's fine. Now we're gonna bring them up. We're gonna bring them up a little closer so we can really see them. Right now they're just kind of little people in a big, impressive landscape. I wanna see what they look like, right? They're friends of mine. We wanna have them up close, so we'll go to that next. How do you make people really stand out? So far we've just got them small in a big landscape, which is fine, but if I wanna see the people that I've come to the cave with, I want to really be able to see them. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Most of us just have a flash built into our camera off to the side and we just blast away. So we'll see how it looks without. We'll try that first. I've got my tripod, my cable release. I'm going to try that first with just a cable release. See how it looks. Okay. And it is dark and it is a whole lot of nothing over there. All right, we'll try it again. Not much. All right, so what do? They're very far away. Hit them with a flash maybe? Okay, I've got my flash set on TTL through the lens metering. Let's see. And I don't know, I mean, doesn't look like a whole lot. So come on up. Linda, Howard, come on up. Closer, closer, closer. This is the conventional way, you know, if somebody's dark, you put a flash on them, right? But flash ruins a lot of pictures. It ruins more pictures than it gets. So let's try this. We'll try this. It's really hard to focus. All right, boy, that really blasts them. What can we do that's a little bit better, more interesting? What can we do, what can we do? I know what we can do. Get rid of the flash and try to do something unconventional. Guys, you got your iPhone still? Set this down here. All right, so put those iPhones up. Look at that, over the head, try over the head. Not quite, how about off to the side? Now try underneath, try underneath. Get a little closer with the light, a little bit closer. See, that's kind of nice. That's really kind of nice. Cave lighting, very good. A little bit higher on your light, a little bit higher up. Good, perfect. Perfect. That's great. I can Change my exposure a little bit. Now we're crafting the light a little bit. Now we've really honed in. We've got 2 spots of light just on their faces. I can see them perfect, problem solved. That's what it's about. Visual problem solving wherever you go. We're in a very, very big dark cave. How do we do it? We get close, use iPhone lights. We could use flashlights, headlamps, any light source you can think of really. Just anything, but no light at all. We really need light to be able to see people. And we also don't want to just blast them in with flash if we're trying to craft it. This is about really solving problems and making situations work that are very, very tough. That's what separates you from everybody else, right? So I've moved to the cathedral, which is the largest room here in Luray Caverns. And you know, this is a really nice camera, and it enables me to do something that I love, and that is to get off the tripod, which is very, very freeing. It is fantastic. First thing I'm gonna do, put the strap around my neck. Camera works great if you drop it right up until it hits the floor, then not so good. All right, so why can I take this camera off? Well, because I can adjust the ISO incredibly high. I'm gonna go up to 10,000 ISO, and I can take pictures of any of the features in this room handheld at about a 60th of a second. It looks good, maybe even a little faster. 125th of a second, no camera shake at all, so that's wonderful. And this is an amazing room. And it has an extra added bonus feature. Come with me, look at this. It's the great stalagpipe organ. Isn't that amazing? There's an organ down here. There it goes. This is John Schaefer, Director of PR, right?
Right, hi
Thanks
Joel.
for being here. Tell me about what's going on here.
Joel, we're right now standing in the center of the world's largest musical instrument,
Really?
the great stalagpipe organ.
Wow.
In various areas around the caverns, tiny rubber-tipped mallets have been attached to stalactites of various sizes. When you press a key up on that keyboard, it triggers the corresponding mallet, striking the stalactite and producing a musical tone, actually a musical tone of symphonic quality. And the fact that these mallets and stalactites cover an area of 3.5 acres all around this room, we're standing in the center of not only the only musical instrument of its kind, but the largest one in the world.
That's amazing. And right now it's on an autoplay program,
Absolutely.
right?
It operates very similar to a child's music box. It's an actual playing of the stalactites, just not manually.
This was put in the 50s, huh?
1957 was when it was debuted. It took Mr. Sprinkle, the inventor, 3 years in searching for stalactites that matched the musical scale.
That is amazing. Care if I get a quick picture of you here?
Absolutely.
Hop right over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. There we go. Very nice. You're looking good. All right. Very cool. So I'm going to wander around a little bit and take a few more pictures.
Absolutely. Help yourself, Joel.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Just amazing. It really is. You know, local attractions, local events, these are things that I often seek out when I'm doing story research for National Geographic magazine. I want to make sure I'm in the right place at the right time. It's very important. I never want to get someplace and have people say, oh, geez, you should have been here yesterday, or last week, or last month. I want to make sure I'm there when things are going on. And local events are a great way of doing that. Let's look at a picture from a Mexican rodeo, for example. Now, I shot some of the action there, but you know, my favorite picture is just this shot of 3 rodeo queens getting ready to go out in the arena. That's my favorite. Or how about this? A Native American ceremony in the Pacific Northwest, actually in Clayoquot Sound, British Columbia. I shot the traditional canoe being paddled, but you know, my favorite picture is this one. It's just a salmon bake or a salmon cookout in somebody's backyard. There's a tribal chief wearing a cedar cape. That speaks volumes to me. It's not a traditional pretty picture, is it? No, kind of a junky scene, I guess. But you know, it's real and it's informative. And the lights even, and everybody kind of reads, and this is reality, and this is what's going on. And it was delicious, and it was very interesting. It was treated very, very well. This picture reminds me of that. What else? If you're talking about local fare, local flavor, well, can't hurt to go to a pier. Piers are very interesting places. It's often where the fish are brought in. And every time I go to a coastal town, I try to ask where the fish market is. Why? Because it's usually in some sort of a mixed light, or it might be outdoors. And the pictures are really good. It's interesting seeing pictures of people cutting up giant fish. Just seeing what comes out of the ocean is visually interesting, and I can usually make the light work one way or another. Now, local attractions, these aren't fish obviously, but Weeki Wachee Springs, the mermaid show there, always interesting. How can you make a bad picture at that place? Impossible. Truly though, of all the places I've traveled, I brag about Nebraska, but I really do love my home state. And I think there are a lot of great things visually there in terms of local attractions, unexpected delights. If you look around, you gotta know where to go. You gotta know where the Windmill Museum is. You have to know where the big chicken resides at a chicken restaurant. You have to know that Carhenge is there. All these cars stuck out of the ground near Alliance, Nebraska. Very, very unusual and weird and visually loaded. You know, we have gunfights there, mock gunfights for the tourists out in Ogallala. Again, how can you miss? How can you miss when you have things like this going on out in western Nebraska? Very easy to take interesting pictures, even in the middle of the day. Of all these things though, this is one of the quiet moments that I remember. It's for a story that I shot many years ago on the heartland of the country, and it speaks volumes to me. You wonder what's going on. I love pictures that ask more questions than they answer. In this case, all the kids in the band had to participate in the pep rally in this little town, so they all set their instruments down in the street and walked off. There's nobody driving around the town to run over their instruments. They're all at the pep rally. The town's only 2 or 3 blocks long. This picture speaks volumes. It happened at the right time of the day. I'd never seen anything like it. I didn't shoot much of it. I couldn't even figure out why I was shooting it, but I just thought it was important to shoot because I'd never seen band instruments laid out in the middle of a street like that. Well, nobody else had either, and Geographic liked it a lot and they ran it. Sometimes it's the unexpected little moments that are truly delightful wherever we go. And this, I'll close with this. 4th of July, how would you shoot 4th of July? Well, you'd go to where the fireworks are and you'd lay on a blanket and probably take pictures looking up. Well, for me, one of my favorite places in Lincoln, Nebraska, where I'm from, is the Sunken Gardens. I go there, I wait, I'm patient, I have my son along, there's a single burst in the sky, mission accomplished. It is the 4th of July, but it's subtle, it's not obvious. That's really what I want you to think about as you go through this course. How do you move beyond the most obvious pictures that you've seen again and again and again? By thinking. That's the whole secret. So we're here at Luray Caverns, Virginia, at the outdoor garden maze. And I tell you, this is really beautiful, but we've found a location that's up. You have to be on an observation platform that they already have here, looking over the whole thing. Then the pictures are easy, actually. It's this big, huge maze, and it's lovely. And you know what else is lovely? The light. Actually, it's sprinkling a little bit, but I don't care. You know, bad weather makes really good pictures. It's all about color. Think about it. If it's overcast, there's no harsh shadows getting in my way, and anybody walking down that path in an umbrella, it's going to be beautiful. The light's subtle. It's all about content now. So little people walking in this sea of green, it's beautiful. Colors are beautiful in overcast light. So we've got a little group of people here kind of waiting for me to say go. Come on down, guys. We're ready. Perfect. Go on back, guys. The other way. Go on back. Beautiful. Perfect. Thank you. I mean, it's beautiful. 4 little colorful umbrellas in this big sea of green. Again, the pictures aren't that hard. If you pick your spot ahead of time, you have to think. You know, I spent about an hour looking over this whole maze, trying to figure out the best high vantage point. This is it, on top of their observation tower. Right here, they've got a little platform. This is the spot. And the pictures happen very easily once you just put your mind to it. Now it's just a matter of being patient and waiting for other things to happen and seeing who and what come through this maze and making a great picture. Patience pays. If you stand in one spot that you think is really, really good and could pay off, if you wait long enough, you're gonna see something interesting or even amazing. For example, I see some, what is that? A girl in a red dress with red balloons in a rainstorm running past me? Holy cow. How lucky is that I was up here waiting for that? Oh, there she goes again. Holy cow, that's I wonder if she might run past here again with those red balloons. Maybe, if we're nice. Hey, Grace, run down and back again, would ya? It's not raining too hard. All right, here she comes. Okay, and back out one more time. And just like that, it's over. What a magic moment. But is it? Of course, that's Grace. She's modeling for us. Hey, Grace, just walk back to the this other spot on the other side of this fountain, back in that little cubby there, would ya? See, I've been thinking about this, and I practiced a little. Hey, Grace, stop right there. So we can make a frame here just of balloons. Kind of nice. Okay, keep going. It's kind of interesting just seeing the balloons above the hedge. I think you've got to go around that way. It's kind of confusing, isn't it? It is a maze after all. You know what's great is no matter where she is in the scene, it looks really, really good because of the contrasting colors and really soft light. So no matter what, love it. Yep, that's it. That's the spot. Perfect, perfect. Right there, that's it, that's it. Very nice, very nice. Love it. Look right up at the balloons, Grace. And by framing this right, we can make the hedge maze look like it goes on forever, which is excellent, just excellent. Okay, so now we're down on the ground level here at the big garden maze at Luray Caverns. So we have two very anxious young models already. Are you ready?
Yes, Laurel, get behind me.
Okay, Laurel, you behind her? Okay, perfect. All right, on three, we're gonna run past, see what kind of color we get. 1, 2, 3, go! Very nice. There's gotta be a good one in there somewhere, huh? The point of this is to get down low, get some action, just see what you can get. It's very beautiful, you can't go wrong. Everything's all clean and nice, and again, soft light, bad weather, I like the light. It's really good. It's most of the time people think they have to have sun to make good pictures. Not the case. Soft light is really, really beautiful. It looks good. Girls want to try it one more time?
Sure.
Okay, go back to the first spot again.
Sure.
All right, perfect. Where'd you get those balloons? You guys ready? Okay.
Yes.
All right, back up a little bit more. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. It looks perfect. It looks perfect. So what else can we get here? Let's try to do a few more things in and amongst all the hedges, and we'll just see what a low camera angle gets out of this really beautiful place. Okay, so it's getting dark. It's sprinkling a little bit, but the light is really interesting. The color's very, very good. Still got Grace around, and so we're gonna try to get one more shot out of the end of the day here. It's just her in a white dress holding flowers with all this green. It's very, very beautiful. It's just perfect, really. There's something about this time of the day when the light shifts blue, and we're in all this green, the sky's very gray. It just looks lovely, it really does. So, Grace, just look down at those flowers for me. And go a little tighter, but you can even just show her hands and the roses. The quality of light really matters, and this is a very subtle thing, but it is great light right now. Even though it's abysmal to most people, this is great light to shoot in, not just good light. It's really beautiful. It makes very subtle colors just sing. It really does. It takes an ordinary situation and just makes it absolutely beautiful. It's great. Are you cold, Grace? Because I'm cold and I'm dressed up, and you're in this little dress and it's raining and all. No, you're a trooper. Okay, all right. Just look right at me. Try to not look so mad at me for making you suffer through this. Okay, perfect. Okay, very good. That's it. We're done. We're done. It's raining. It's almost dark. Perfect. Thank you. Local places. local attractions. Let's talk a little bit more about that. And specifically, I want to take you through one story I did for National Geographic on zoos. Zoos of the world, actually, mostly in this country, but they're certainly local attractions. So how do you approach this? Well, for me, I went to zoos that I had researched. And by that, I mean I did my homework. I tried to figure out who had really interesting exhibits, like where you could get very close to grizzly bears or see snow leopard cubs. Or I went to Hong Kong because I heard about a new exhibit they had at Ocean Park called Polar Adventure. Well, it's a building shaped to look like an iceberg, and they've got these penguins that are statues all over the outside of the place, and it's visually loaded. Now, I knew this before I went because I had studied up. I had done my homework. The web makes it very easy now to see exactly what you're going to get before you get there. In terms of a starting point, remember, it's all a starting point. Once you get there, you're very pleasantly surprised if you can spend some time. That is the key. Don't short yourself when you go to an attraction. Plan to stay. This may irritate your family members. You might have to do a little bargaining with them. But I mean, come on, you're all the way in Hong Kong and you've got this big, huge exhibit, and there are king penguins swimming under the floor underneath plexiglass under your feet. How can you beat that? They also have a sea lion show that delights people and a big dolphin breeding center and study center there. Well, that's all interesting, but it takes time. I spent days there. If you're on vacation, maybe your family will give you a day. You can still make really good pictures, but you have to brace them for it, and you have to brace yourself. Again, this requires time. The more time you put into it, the better. And even if you stay till after dark, they have this amazing show they project onto the side of a wall of water. Basically a multimedia show. Quite amazing. Now, the other place I went to was Oppenhuel in Holland. This is a primate park where the monkeys actually are allowed to crawl around on people, at least some species of monkey, squirrel monkeys, lemurs. Fascinating, something that you wouldn't see here in the United States. It makes for visuals, it makes for interesting pictures. Back home in the States, I'm looking at anything I can to really be new and different. That's the thing. What are the surprises? Where are you going to see surprises? It could be, let's say, at a giraffe exhibit, Cheyenne Mountain Zoo out in Colorado. Very interesting because this is the largest captive herd in North America and the most prolific. I think they've had more than 200 offspring since the herd was founded there many decades ago. You can feed all these giraffes. They're right up in your face and their purple tongues are sticking out, and you can feed them food that you get from the zoo, and it is really, really popular, and it is visually loaded. How can you miss if you're looking at an enclosure with 18 to 20 giraffes right there in your face? You can't. It's really, really good stuff. But I wasn't there by accident. There's more than 200 AZA accredited zoos in this country. I had done my homework. I probably spend a day at home researching for every day I spend in the field. When I go to a place like the Cincinnati Zoo, I know they've got a big new tiger facility that's very beautiful, and even more beautiful when it's just snowed. And then when I go to Indianapolis Zoo, holy cow. I built a remote camera for this story, but you know what? They've got glass right there. The tigers are right there against this big, beautiful plexiglass. You can be inches away and get very, very lovely pictures. So this is the key, and what I really want to stress. Do your homework. Generally, my pictures are only as good as my research. In fact, I can say honestly that my photo essays and my coverages of local attractions or international attractions are only as good, truly only as good as the research. If the research isn't there, the pictures won't be there. It doesn't happen by accident. This takes a little work, it takes a little thought, but it is so worth it. So your assignment is to shoot in light that you dared not try before, really low light. Now, for those of you that have a modern high-end camera, you can about shoot handheld in the dark, can't you? Now, for those of you that have a lower-end camera, one that doesn't have high ISO ratings, that may force you to go to a tripod. Or you could set your camera on the ground or on a wall or on a car hood, something to steady it. Use a cable release so you don't vibrate the camera and blur the scene when you activate the shutter. If you don't have a cable release, then you just set the camera to self-timer so it will take the picture itself without vibration. That's very key. If you're shooting in very low light, make sure you don't jiggle the camera during the exposure. All right, having said that, I want you to do one other favor for me. What I want you to do is be discriminating. Most of the time when people pay me to go out and take pictures of a certain subject, I'm really picky, and I pass on most of the things that I see. I have a saying, most of the time the answer is no. And the question is, should I take a picture now? Usually it's absolutely not. The light's not right, or the background's pretty tough and I can't figure out how to clean it up, or it's just not interesting. I want you to really be harsh, be critical, and really think about what you're seeing. You know, in the end, you really only have to please yourself. But it's very important, this first step, and that is be objective and rational and think, should I shoot this picture? Just because you've traveled someplace does not mandate that you work it. Really think about your subjects. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. Now, good luck. Beautiful spot that I've already scouted. I've already seen this place. I spent about an hour walking around doing my homework. Where is the best looking spot here? Well, there's one spot along the trail where the man-made lighting down here really illuminates people well on the trail. So that's where I've put them. It's the best looking spot I could find. So I took my time. This is actually a fairly easy picture to get once you find the right spot. So we'll take a second here. You guys ready? Ready for your big moment? Okay, here we go. And I know that you guys have a couple iPhones, don't you? So pop those things up and we'll just see you guys taking a picture, all right? Good deal. I can zoom in a little bit. Wonderful, very simple. I just used my head and since it was discovered in 1878, they've had tens of millions of visitors so far, for good reason. Let's go inside. Okay, so I am down underneath Luray Caverns now, 150 feet down, and it is amazing, and it is beautiful, and it is dark, really dark. Caves tend to be that way, don't they? So, tripod and a cable release. This is a perfect chance to use this. Cable release, why? Well, because if we're shooting at a very slow shutter speed, and I'm at about 1/8 of a second here, well, I need this, don't I? I need this because I'd be shaking the camera if I pressed the camera with my finger. I don't want any camera shake. It should be sharp as can be. These rocks aren't going anywhere. All right. So I have a couple of friends down here, Howard and Linda. They are in the spot. I want to get a picture of them. They're standing by. They're in a In this lesson, let's talk a little bit about local attractions and the unexpected delights that you find there. We're gonna go to Luray Caverns, deep under the ground. We're gonna be in the total darkness. How do we make good pictures in a wonderful place that's lacking light completely? Then we go up above onto the surface. We find a wonderful garden maze, something that's totally unexpected, yet wonderful. And yet the light isn't quite what we need it to be. It's a little drizzly even. We can handle it and we can make nice pictures in that type of weather and that type of light too. So let's go. I'm here at Luray Caverns in Virginia. This place has been open every day of the year. Most of us just have a flash built into our camera off to the side and we just blast away. So we'll see how it looks without. We'll try that first. I've got my tripod, my cable release. I'm gonna try that first with just a cable release. See how it looks. Okay. And it is dark and it is a whole lot of nothing over there. All right, we'll try it again. Not much. All right, so what do? They're very far away. Hit them with a flash maybe? Okay, I got my flash set on TTL through the lens metering. Let's see. And I don't know, I mean, doesn't look like a whole lot. So come on up. Linda, Howard, come on up. Closer, closer, closer. This is the conventional way, you know, if somebody's dark, you put a flash on them, right? Walked around the place and I saw that's the nice spot. They stand out perfectly against this little dark cave behind them. They really pop out. Wonderful. Wonderful. Perfect, that's great. It is really beautiful. So tripod and cable release for a dark spot, that's fine. Now we're gonna bring them up. We're gonna bring them up a little closer so we can really see them. Right now they're just kind of little people in a big, impressive landscape. I wanna see what they look like, right? They're friends of mine, we wanna have them up close, so we'll go to that next. How do you make people really stand out? So far we've just got them small in a big landscape, which is fine, but if I wanna see the people that I've come to the cave with, I want to really be able to see them. So how do we do that? How do we do that?